Hi everyone, welcome to my Shoreline Studio. I'm Sybille Muschik, and today we're going to be working with Botanicals. Now Botanicals can be done with stencils, of course, and that makes it fairly easy because they're flat. Or you can have some that you've drawn out and cut out, and they work very well, again, because they're flat. But often I prefer the real thing. And for beginners, it's really lovely because you have wonderful textures. You don't have to really draw anything. The only thing you have to be concerned about is composition. Now, people get design and composition confused quite often. For me, composition has to do with the elements that you put on your page. And so the leaves, stems and things like that, those are compositional elements. And the design is where you place them. And of course, as you practice, then you'll learn more about design and what works and what doesn't work for you. And of course, you want to have some nice negative spaces. And the negative spaces are those things you can't name. Those are the spaces that are in between the shapes. And if you compose those well, then often your whole design will work really well. So let's go to the overhead camera and we'll start on doing some prints on the jelly plate and working with these elements. Here are some botanicals I've been collecting from around the lake. A little bit of alder. We have lots of birches on the lake. Of course, birches love water, and they tend to grow around our interior lakes. And also, of course, willows. I've been pressing these botanicals in one of my big books. Actually, it's Jensen's History of Modern Art. Works great. And these are Yarrow. And now you have to watch with these because little bits and pieces will fall off onto your plate and you'll be picking them off forever. And I have printed with them already. As you can see, there's some paint on these. Have lovely shapes, I must say. These are some of the rushes, and they've dried pretty well. They're quite nice. We'll see how they print up. So we're going to be working with our 10 by 8 gel plate today. Get all these leaves out of the way. And I'm going to be printing on black paper to begin with. We'll see how that works. This is my Canson My Tint paper. I think it looks blue on the viewer, but it will turn out, looking black. You do have to be careful with your papers. If you're just doing it for journaling and so forth, you don't have to worry so much about archival properties. Since I do a lot of shows, I tend to really worry about having them acid-free and so forth. I don't think the papers we're working with today are acid-free, but I think if you put enough layers of acrylic paint on them, you just might get away with it. In any case, you can probably document them and use them that way, with your camera. So let's get started. I'm going to be using the colors of fall, and as you know from previous videos, I like to use the golden open paints. I do have some other craft paints. This is Deco Art, and golden fluorescent orange. This should be fun. And this is a fluid paint, very fluid, and you have to add it to something else. We're also going to be working with the iridescent gold, again a fluid acrylic by Golden. And I'm going to be adding the open thinner This goes with the open paints, but if you want to use other paints and you want them to dry a little less quickly, then add a touch of thinner, and it might just give you a little bit more working time. So I'm putting some Golden Open Manganese Blue hue on there and a little bit of ultramarine. And some phthalo green right in the center. With just a touch of the yellow, just to brighten it up a bit. I'm still hoping to print the black pages and get some more intense color and more definition. So that's our aim. So we're just not mixing this too much, spraying off and placing this lovely rush. It's quite dramatic, a little stubborn. There's a few wrinkles that need to come out. Oops. Yes, well, some of these will cooperate in their own way. And then we'll just place this on top and see what happens. And then a little bit of deli paper. Let's see what this first hole is going to be like. This is one way to glue everything down onto the plate. And the deli paper turned out well. It usually does. And we're going to, maybe we'll use this one. Very obscure. It's already got some lights in it. And I'm going to register it with a little bit of tape. And just place it down so that I can flip it back and forth. Could use wider tape, I guess, but this will work. All right, we are spraying here or using the Varennes to really get the paint off. We'll see. Well, this is where it gets tricky because I'll get the botanicals off. And if we flip it back, it will pick up some of the green, but okay, we'll do it, but we'll be ever so careful. Just enough. Just a little bit of the detail. Not bad. And then we need to print our ghost print. The ghost print is better printed on the white. It should show up pretty well. Again, a little bit more pressure to get that detail off. It's quite lovely. So it certainly works on the white paper. And it even picked up a few of those violets we had from underneath. And the overlaps are fantastic. You don't usually get nice overlaps, and the bend in the rush shows up. So that one works. I put some Alizarin Crimson here and that antique white there. We'll see what that looks like together. It reminds me a little bit of the cranberries, the high bush cranberries we have around here. The leaves go a really intense color. I might post one of the photographs I took of that. And if you have a blob on your plate like this where the color is not mixing very well, just sort of turn your brayer a little bit. Just sort of swirl it around and you'll get those pieces. Now, I'm just going to place a few of these. I've placed the Botanicals on the plate again, and we're going to do our usual printing here. And we're going to, again, just put the tape down so that we can flip it over to get some of those details. And again, the little Yarrow. Such a handy tool. Gives such consistency to the prints. Yeah, we should have some nice, yes, beautiful. So I just flipped it over and printed the details. There's lots of glimmer and little accidentals in here as well. That's looking very nice. So I've just put some more ultramarine blue and some of the antique white and a little bit more gold on here. So again, we'll place the rushes. One of them came off, but that's okay. And we had luck with overlaps last time, so we'll try that again. And we will do it. This way would be nice. And we'll try it on the black. Oh, if we're lucky, something will work. And I'm going to tape it down. Because I'm hoping to do that next layer, just a little bit of the detail. We've still got the leaves, things on the plate, which means they'll make a negative area. And then you can put another layer of paint on and it will pick up in those areas. So that's quite nice. And we can take that off. Oh, stuck. And if we're really, really careful, just ever a hint of the detail. Oh, nice. Right, just a little bit more up here. That works. that is actually quite nice. And I'm not sure you can pick up the shimmer of this. It's really lovely. And there's some very interesting details in the leaves. And I don't mind where it didn't pick up, you know, the veining and so forth here, because it gives it more contrast. So I think that's a keeper. Okay, I've placed one of the more obscure pieces on here, and we will see how it prints. I put Alizarin Crimson and a little bit of the red iron oxide. So it looks not too bad. And because there was lots of previous detail and color, you know, the negative spaces are filled with interesting details, so we don't need to print it any further. Well, I've really enjoyed showing you my botanical prints. And there's probably lots of different ways of working with them. There are lots of YouTube videos where you can see all sorts of botanical prints done other ways. Jelly Arts and the gel press people do have sites where these are shown. And I want to thank Jelly Arts and the gel press people for inventing this wonderful plate that you can do so many things, and you don't need an etching press that is horrifyingly expensive and takes up a lot of room in the studio. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll like and subscribe and to see future videos. Bye for now.